Superstars, hello! His name is Aaron, and if you forward this email to 10 people, you will not be haunted.
His name's Tommy, and his favorite flavor is blue.
And you're listening to the SuperPod Saga! That's right! This is the SuperPod Saga. I've had too much energy drink already this morning. But welcome to the show. This is the podcast where Aaron and I and a guest, we talk about a different video game topic every week. No duplicates, no redos. Sometimes we forget things though and talk about them more than once, and I'm sorry for that.
That's right, no reruns here. This ain't TV land.
Oh, no, it isn't. Our special guest today on this rerun-free episode is RedFox from Night of the Living podcast. Hello.
Hello, Tommy and Aaron, the SuperPod Saga squad. I'm RedFox, host of Elden podcast, and until today, I did not know Tommy existed. I thought you were a figment of Aaron's imagination. I didn't. I've listened to your guys' show all the time, and every time I'm like, AI exists. Aaron might be really fucking with me here, and like this is a long ploy. And he knew he was going to meet me one day, so he was going to make Tommy up as a figment of his imagination just to mess with me.
I know.
But it's good to meet you finally, man.
Yeah, it's good to meet Aaron. He knows about the AI. What do we do?
Unplug Skynet.
Abort.
Activate.
Yeah, thank you for being on the show. I'm excited to talk to you about video games. What is your podcast about, though?
So I host Night of the Living podcast. We are a Philly pop culture podcast ran by we, and by we I mean me, where I bring on a different guest every week. We talk about movies, video games, just pop culture in general. Really, it's whatever I feel like talking about. That's the glory of being me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where can people find the podcast, or are you on social media while social media still exists?
Well, while Twitter is still alive, you could find me, lurking around, trolling people at Night of the LP. My podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts from, iTunes, Spotify. Make sure you install the newest iTunes update because there's a new one every other day, apparently.
iTunes.
And wherever you get your podcast from, I am there. I'm also on Twitch at twitch.tv/NightRedFox.
Yeah, don't do the backslash. It's /. Backslash will take you somewhere way different.
Oh.
You can find me there too, but 18 and older, please.
Aaron, where can people find our content?
If they need to upload some new content to their iPod Touch 2 or whatever the hell, again, update iTunes. Yeah, update iTunes or use Zune if you want to. SuperPodSaga.com. All of our previous episodes, our blog, our support page if you want to buy a shirt or support us on whatever the fuck we have, but SuperPodSaga.com.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to support us and make our egos feel good. You just gotta find it and check us out.
Yeah, give us a shout out on like Twitter or something. Just be like, ha ha ha, Aaron's voice is so deep and calming. I could listen to it all day.
ASMR with Aaron.
Yeah.
The A in ASMR stands for Aaron. And we have a Discord too. That's some chaotic place. If you want some chaos too, check that out. But we're here to talk about video games, right? Right? That's why we're all here. We all play video games.
What?
Video
I
games.
thought we were going to look at fireworks together.
No.
Oh.
I'm avoiding all fireworks because they scare my dogs.
That's fair. That's fair.
We're going to talk about our best adventures in gaming, and that doesn't have to just be an adventure game, although I definitely have some of those. But I want to talk about the games where after you're done and the credits rolling, you're sitting to yourself and you say, "Wow, what an adventure!" You say it out loud. What types of games make you say, "Wow, what an adventure"?
Oh, well, okay. Well, then I'll go first here. Horror games. I love horror games.
Oh,
Jesus
you're
Christ.
one of those.
That is. Oh, yes, I am. I am not just one of those. I'm that guy's uncle. Horror games always have me thinking, "Oh, what an adventure! Oh, how did I survive this? Oh my God, please don't make a sequel because I'll have to play it."
That's
and nothing
good.
scarier the second time around. So.
See, and I can't play any scary games. They're too scary. I can't. I love watching people play scary games on the YouTube though.
The YouTube.
YouTube.
Yes. Oh boy. I think I wrote down most of the RPGs because
I knew it.
I'm a
Yep.
I'm a little baby boy, and yeah,
That's
fuck
perfect.
yes, it is perfect.
We've got every genre because I've got like more mainline mainstream games, and we got the RPGs and the horror games. That's all there is.
Excellent.
But yeah, I'll get us started off with with I'm gonna go with the most stereotypical pick possible, and I'm gonna talk about Uncharted 2.
I just watched the Uncharted movie last night.
Oh, I haven't
Ooh,
seen that yet. I haven't seen that.
It's a fun time.
It's got Mr. Nolan North in it. I saw, or at least for a
Yeah,
cameo.
yeah.
that's
Nolan
cool.
North's in it. Tom Holland is he's Tom Holland.
He's Nathan Drake. Oh, he's Tom Holland Drake.
He's Tom Holland. Drake.
Tom Holland as himself.
As himself
Yeah,
as Nathan
pretty
Drake.
much.
But Uncharted 2 was like one of the first games I got when I got my PS3. I skipped the first Uncharted, and it was. I mean, it's obvious, but it was such a fun globe-trotting adventure. There are like so many moments in that game that would carry other games. Like you've got the train scene, which I understand was a technical marvel at the time to have a train moving through a level and all the different enemies and stuff not just flying off into space, and how it like transitions from the village area up to the snowy area. And there's the tank when the tank is chasing you in the village. There's the snowy Alps and the abominable snowmen. It just goes on and on with all these ridiculous adventurous things that you're doing. And the puzzle solving, gosh, it's just I should go play Uncharted. I got to get my PS3 out. um I didn't like Uncharted 3 as much, and I never played Uncharted 4, but Uncharted 2 was like the sweet spot for like what an adventure could be.
Yeah, Uncharted 2, I have because I'm with you. I didn't jump into the Uncharted series until way after. I actually got the Nathan Drake collection on the PS4.
Hmm.
And I like binged through them all, but when I got to the third, I thought I was catching burnout, but then I
Yep.
was like, I don't think it's burnout per se. I think it's more so it's not as tight as Uncharted 2.
Yeah.
Uncharted 2
Yeah.
was perfect balance, and a lot of people complained about like, oh, it gets like this weird supernatural thing near the end. I'm like, yeah, I don't. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Nathan Drake just shot and killed like 80 different people with one gun. Trust me, I'm okay with a little bit of supernatural shit at the end. And the fourth one I just started the other day. And it's actually really fucking good.
I actually had to replace my PS3 when I got Uncharted 3 because it wouldn't load. Like it broke my PS3 in some way where after I tried downloading the install or whatever, I couldn't connect to the internet or anything. I just remember that now.
What?
Too much
Uncharted 2
adventure
was
in
trying
one
to
disc.
save you.
Yeah,
That's insane.
man. And I remember I just even seeing Uncharted 2 at the time, I was like, games will never look better than this. This is the best graphics could possibly be.
About to send
Again.
Ratchet and Clank's Rift Apart back in time to the developers of Uncharted 2. Just like blow their mind away with this.
Yeah, yeah.
I said the same thing with the original Gears of War, and man, was I so wrong.
Games will never look muddier than this.
Games
How
will
can
never
I
look
get worse
grayer
like
than
that?
this.
Oh, and another thing of just like I don't want to be like, oh, games used to be better, but like there
They
was
did.
no like skill tree or unlock or skins or everything. It was just Nathan Drake going on an adventure, and you used whatever was in your arsenal for that area and just figured it out. And that was great.
That's cool.
I love how no one ever talks about the fact that Nathan Drake is a murderer.
He's a huge murderer.
Like you're a murderer, dude. You just killed all these people.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at least Lara Croft, because I always relate Uncharted with the Crystal Dynamics Tomb Raider series.
Mhm.
At least Lara like has like this whole mental thing. Like she's still not used to killing people 3 games in. Drake's just like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Random person walking in the street.
At the beginning, he's like, no guns, we don't use guns. We only use sleep darts. And like partway through the mission, there's a guy above him, and he just grabs him and throws him hundreds of feet down below into a river, and they make a little joke about it.
Jesus Christ.
It's like Batman. It's like, listen. I'm not going to kill you. You're just going to have severe brain damage. Like, I'm not going to kill you. The medical bills are going to kill you. So I'm going to beat your ass.
Yeah. It's not me that killed you. It's the American healthcare system.
God damn it.
Beat your ass and send you to Canada.
Yeah, Uncharted 2. I love it. That's an adventure.
My
Ooh,
first pick is like kind of the opposite of that. I went with Grandia. Everybody knows Grandia.
Oh, Grandia.
oh, grand.
Yeah.
It's oh man, it's a JRPG if that's still an acceptable term. If not, we'll just go with RPG. But came out on the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation back in the day. They're remastered now for Switch and PC and shit. But basically, yeah, the main character Justin, he has this like
Justin.
spirits. Yeah, most generic name for a JRPG main character. It's pretty great. He gets this. He has a spirit stone from his dad, and he wants to be a great adventurer again, like his dad. And so
Mhm.
he, one day, him and his little friend, who's like fucking 8 years old, they decide, hey, we're gonna leave. Yep, we're gonna leave
Naturally.
and go on an adventure. So, uh, and I also forgot to mention that Justin has like this dream of I forget her name, but like this angel lady and this like missing continent or missing city or whatever. So yeah, they leave. They go from place to place trying to figure out where the hell this missing town or missing race of people is or whatever the hell. And then yeah, it just feels like one big kind of like overarching story, like a playable anime almost. Because
Mm.
like you go say to this town and there'll be this thing going on like there's this one part where one of the party members that you team up with, she gets kidnapped and she's about to be forced to marry this one guy or something, and you have to leap in and break that shit up and beat up his bad guys and all these shit. And yeah, at the end it just feels so cool to finish it and be like, wow, yeah, that was a fucking
Now
adventure, like
that
that
was an
was good.
adventure. That's
Yeah.
the best when you can look back and be like, I did a lot of shit. Holy cow.
And we started in this little tiny teensy weensy like fishing village, and then now we're we've discovered this ancient like extinct race of people. I forget how, and it's like, yeah, that's dope.
That is. That is. Good pick. Good pick.
Yes.
For me, for me, I'll go with something newer and very generic to say, but I got a good reason for it. Not Tears of the Kingdom, Breath
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
Wild
that's a
Yes.
good one.
was an
Mhm.
experience, my guys. So, I got Breath of the Wild day
Mm.
one with the Switch, day one that night. I had some bitch installing on my Switch while I was driving home, loading up load screens at red lights. I clocked countless hours into this game, beat discovering all the map, all the shrines. I was going after all of the armor sets and all. And fun little story. I think I might have told Aaron this before, but I logged in a little over 100 something hours into the game, or not a little, a lot over 100 something hours into this game. My first playthrough around, I was missing two
God
shrines,
damn.
three pieces of armor.
Dang.
My We were going down the shore, and I let my nephew's a lot very young, so he was going to get bored down there on the drive up. So it's like, I'm coming down after work. Like, why don't you take my Switch with you? Play Smash Bros. And just take my Switch with you, and I'll see you down the shore. Just play Smash Bros. Though. Don't touch my other
I'm
cartridges.
scared. I'm scared.
I get down the shore about 9 hours later. He comes up
Oh
to me.
no.
It's like, oh yeah, no, I was doing all this special training
Oh
with Link.
no.
Oh
And I was like,
no.
oh, cool, cool. And he's a kid. He's like maybe 8 years old at this point. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, he went to like classic mode or something like that or training. He's like, yeah, but like my weapons keep
Oh
breaking.
no.
Uh,
And I was like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, yeah, I'm hitting them so hard, my weapons break. That's how good I am. And I'm like, that's adorable. Where's my Switch? Where is it?
this is a nightmare.
Popped it in. He was playing Breath of the Wild. He saved over
No.
every
Fuck,
piece of
dude.
data. He manual saved. His auto saves went over me. There was nothing
Oh.
I could do to pull my characters back. I didn't touch Breath of the Wild again until lockdown.
Oh, that
Fuck, man.
sucks.
But I did go back and play it. It was a hard pill to swallow, but I finally went back. I finished it all shrines, all the armors, and at that point the DLC had been out, so I did the DLCs too. And I remember thinking, like, man, I've done everything this game had to give me. And then I was fighting one of the Lionels up on top of a ridge, and it was just like this epic clash we were having. And I was just thinking, wow, this game literally cannot get better. Turned around, Swear to you, there's one of the
Yeah.
dragons in the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful like shots I've ever seen in video games that like I didn't like position the camera to get a good angle on something. I'm standing there looking over Hyrule from this ridge where I just slaughtered this Lionel, and right in front of me comes up one of the dragons. And I was like, this game's just fucking incredible. Just tattoo this moment across my throat. Like this is
Yes.
everything to me.
Yes.
Get that
The Breath of the Wild was such
Yeah.
an
get that
I
painted on
experience.
your on the side of your van, like a big old van mural.
Oh, I need to go buy a van after this.
I really hope it doesn't get overshadowed by the mechanics that Tears of the Kingdom introduces, because experiencing Breath of the Wild for the first time is like the top tier gaming moments, because we didn't, I mean, obviously you watch previews and trailers and stuff, but we didn't know what to expect from an open world Zelda game, and they nailed it. They nailed it so
Yeah.
hard. It was such a joy to explore everything and to just roam around and find cool stuff.
It had a little bit of like a mental
Hmm.
Metroidvania to it, in the sense that like you'll explore this whole one area and think you've done all that there is to do, or you'll see like a shrine that you can't reach for some reason or whatnot. But then as you play and you learn more about like different unique ways to use the skills that they give you, it's like, oh shit, that's right, there's a shrine back here in the snow, and now I figured out how to use the ice bolts to make platforms to reach it, and like I have the gear now to get back to this area, and there's so much more in this area now that I can go back and like really invest in and find the shit that's in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that
That
game's
is a
so
great
good.
game. Um,
The hell with Tears of the Kingdom. I'm going back to play Breath of the Wild again.
it's just right. Um, Speaking of Aaron saying the game felt like an anime, I didn't have this on my list originally, but Aaron reminded me of it. Man, Nier Automata, that's an adventure.
Oh my god.
Holy cow.
Near Automata, tomato to patata?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry if I pronounce it
No,
wrong.
it's near
Okay,
Automata.
cool.
Potato
Yes,
patata.
yes. Holy cow. That's not a game that I should like. It's not really my style of games. And I will say, like, it has the chip system or whatever. I put as much auto battling, auto healing, everything I could, so I just walked around and it did all the fighting for me. But
That's cool.
um uh man, that game goes places. Holy cow, does that game go places. There's I remember I knew that like you'd have to play through it multiple times, and I wasn't uh sorry for spoilers for anyone who hasn't played this game yet, but like you play through it the first time and you get the credits, and then you start over and you're playing as the second character, and you play through the game again from his perspective. And I'm like, gosh, this whatever happens after this better be worth it, because I'm playing the game again. And then the story continues on after you finish it the second time. The credits roll, and then the game continues, and you're just like, what are you talking about? How in the world? And there's more even after you finish the game again, and there's credits. They're just there's it's like it never ends, and the story just goes to all kinds of places that I can't even remember all of or speak of. Yeah,
Infinite
it's got like
replayability.
every genre of game in there. It's got the shoot 'em ups. It's got side scrolling sections. It's got everything. It just flows between each of them like nothing. Like you don't even really think that you're switching into a different thing. It just does it, and you go with it.
God, I still need to play that. I have not played it, but that's the best kind of like new game plus kind of shit right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It
that's a
is
long
very
ass
long.
game
I
too.
can't believe that I kept playing it, because usually 40 hours is my limit for a game, but I just had to see more. I was invested. I I was super invested.
I'm saying it to win it.
You got to play it just to experience the Romeos and Juliets.
Speaking of Romeo's, my next one is Dragon Quest V, and
Oh, the
I
fifth
say
one.
I say Romeo's because the main character, you have a choice of like who you want to marry, and there's all this other shit. But
Uh-huh.
um,
Uh-huh.
yeah, so yeah, Dragon Quest V. You start out as like the main character is a little kid. He's going on an adventure with his dad. I forget what exactly you go do, but you get ambushed by these monsters, and they kill your dad, and then they take you as like a prisoner.
Hmm.
And so time skip. You're now, I forget if it's like a teenager or whatever, but you're a slave to these monsters, just toiling away, working away, and you decide to escape. So yeah, you escape, and then yeah, you what is it? that's when you get the choice of who to marry and shit like that. But yeah, you basically like the main character. You'll play as him at like different stages of his life because like you'll marry your wife, then it'll time skip again to you're like a little bit older and you've had kids and now they're like fuck like 8 or 10 or something like that. And
I can't play games where I can marry other characters because I'm like, I just want to marry all of you at one time.
I can't pick.
and yeah, who you marry also has like a great effect on how your kids turn out. Like, was it the well, no I guess like stats and like moves wise they'll be the same, but like it'll determine like what they look like, of course, and that's really cool. But yeah, and it starts out like the main character. There's no party members or anything like that. You just recruit different monsters. Like after a battle, they'll be like, "Hey, can I join your party?" And you'll be like, "Sure, bud," and you'll hop aboard. But then, once you get to that time skip, you've had your kids and all that shit. Basically, it'll be like Family Force 5. It's you and your wife and your kids, and you're all this huge like powerhouse of a party. And that's how you go fight the final boss. It's like it's you, your wife, and your kids. You still got your monsters.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
wow.
lie. When you said Family Force 5, in my mind, I was like, oh my god, is Aaron going to say you collect the Voltron robots?
No, I wish.
Like, then you get your mechs and you stomp them the fuck out.
What a fun idea.
But they're all dragons.
There's lots of cool shit that happens in the story too, because like your son, when he's born, he becomes the chosen one, I guess. So like
your son is the chosen one.
yeah, and there's a point where like the main character and his wife, they're turned to stone, and the kids have to save them. So you play as the kids for a little while, and you go on this adventure to find this item to bring your parents back to life. And then yeah, that was a hell of an emotional adventure. It's really really cool. The best of the series.
That does sound really cool.
Like it was a tough choice between 4 and 5. Like 11 is good and 8 is good. They're all good in their own kind of way, but 5 is just it's tops to me.
Which one is the first to have the music that I know?
They all have that in the beginning actually, where it's like dun,
sick.
dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
That is
dun,
the
dun,
music
dun,
for
dun,
adventure.
dun. Yeah,
That is.
it's always like that too. It's all like always orchestral and like upbeat.
Yeah,
I'm gonna dub that into an old school Zelda game.
I just want that to play around me as I walk places.
I'd cause way too much damage doing that. Oh no. It's like when I used to go to the gym and listen to the Halo theme song. It's like
on a boombox.
I could have saved them at reach if only I trained.
I could have saved them at reach. That's good.
Is it my go?
It's your turn.
Okay, cool. Before I forget this one, which I don't know how I forget. I have nightmares about this game still. So this is a kind of a two for here. So Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls.
Yep.
Okay.
An absolute quest, not even an adventure, a quest of fucking survival. And I played it late in. So if you're about to tell me go play the swamps on the original one, go fuck yourself. I know it's broken.
Blighttown
in the original Dark Souls game
Nightmare
was
Fuel.
broken. I don't understand because everyone said that like that was broken. But for me, Blighttown wasn't that terrible in the remaster, and I know they fixed a lot of the things with it. But like Tomb of the Giants is where every fear I've ever had in my life lives there. It lives there. Tomb of the Giants, you can't see 2 inches in front of you. You're constantly falling off of shit. And if you're me, you fight everything. I don't run from nothing in Dark Souls. It's why it takes me so long to beat these games. But that game, going through it, was an absolute majestic quest. Every time I killed something, I felt like my dick was made of concrete. It was amazing. Like, and I was like soloing everyone, and then when I learned how to play with other people, me and my co-host for the Drunken Gamers podcast, we all ran through Dark Souls together, and they're all seasoned Souls players. They're like, oh yeah, there's a shortcut right here. I was like, oh, is it? Because I just run through the town and kill everyone every time to get to the boss door. So they were showing me all like the easy ways to beat it. My one co-host can beat the whole game in like 10 hours or something like that.
Dang.
Like he can just do a daytime speed run of the game, barely grinding out anything. He just knows how to fight and knows how to play. And me, I just know how to fight things. That's it. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I don't know Like I didn't never understand like the dexterity of like your weapons, all
Mhm.
that shit. No idea. Half the time I was fighting with like swords that needed to be repaired so badly, but I was still just backstab, backstab, backstab. And then to roll that into Elden Ring is phenomenal for an adventure. I have still not beaten it. I play it every week. I sit down and I play it for a few hours. I'm still not done the game, but I'm not done the game by choice because
Mm.
I'm going through every single piece of everywhere. Sometimes I'll just load in the game like I'm gonna go to Caelid and like just run amok and just kill things, find things, and then absolutely die and say this game's bullshit and then change it to something else. But Elden Ring is another one, like because the Souls games, I kind of looped them all in together as far as like them being a grandiose adventure.
Mhm.
They're unforgiving, challenging as shit, and there's so many like choices that you unknowingly will make that will shape the entire game around you. Like one
Oh.
guy said something smart to me, and I took that personal, so I killed him.
And I took that personal.
And I didn't realize if I kill him, I won't be able to get the super cool sword.
Oh.
So when I realized that, everything immediately around me had to die. Like that was it. Okay, so this quest line's done. No problem. I'm making an enemy out of every NPC in this building. Yeah, we'll just kill this whole quest, and I'll do it again the next time.
There was a time where I was playing and I was running away from things because that's what I do in Elden Ring. I'm afraid of things. And uh, there was a guy standing on a roof, and I was like, "Dude, help me!" So I went to talk to him. He's like, "Oh, do you want some stuff to purchase? I've got things." And one of the birds comes in and knocks him off the roof, and he falls and dies. And I'm like, "Uh oh, I don't know if he was an important person or not. I'm just
Jesus
gonna
Christ.
leave." I should look up and see if that guy was important.
It's like Skyrim when you accidentally kill the blacksmiths. It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, I can't buy iron ingots from you anymore.
Or like fucking Morrowind where you can doom the story and like that message pops up like,
Yes.
hey, you shouldn't have fucking done that.
Does
I
that really
don't think.
happen? That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll say you've doomed the timeline and it tells you to reload your save.
And then just say no, just don't do it. Um, also with Elden, or is it Elden? Yeah, with Elden Ring 2, one of my favorite things to do with the game. It's why, like, to me, it's like the peak adventure game because it's very open for everyone to play, even if you're not a Souls player.
Hmm.
Like, if anything, that makes it more realistic because, like, it is hard, but you can do it. I like to create the most dramatic fights. Like every fight that I have against like a named enemy or
Yeah.
someone with a health bar, I make it my mission to make this the most epic battle possible. Like even if it means like switching off to like lower gear or whatnot, and I'll have it all play out in my head like it's like this huge anime fight, like this classic showdown.
Hell
Actually,
yeah.
I'll send you guys the link later on my TikTok and all. I had a insane clash with one of the my god, I forget the names of the guys on the horses, the big dudes on the
Yeah.
horse, the tree
Yep.
sentinels. Right in, I want to say it was in, not in Caelid. I forget where the area I was at was, but we had this huge epic showdown. Like we clashed at the exact same time, and I killed them, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I started crying a little bit, just thinking about his family and how he died with honor.
You send his
Yeah,
family flowers and everything. Like this was a man of honor.
Mr.
The flowers were also poisoned.
Mr. RedFox from Night of the Living podcast. Would you like to hear how I played Elden Ring?
I do.
So whenever I play a game that gives me the option to be a archer with the bow and arrow, that's what I pick. And this Elden Ring was the first Souls-like game I ever played. I'd never played any of the Dark Souls or Bloodborns or anything like that. So I went into it like I'm just gonna do a bow and arrow. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a bow man. And
I'm an
I found
archer.
an archer. That's what they're called. Thank you. And so what I would do is I found an area, gosh, it was like some dragon something island where there was a bunch of sheep. And so I would just go and farm those sheep to make a bunch of arrows, and I would go on my adventures shooting people. And when I'd run out of arrows, I'd go back to that island and just farm sheep to build arrows. And when it came to like a boss, like in the first castle area, I just kept getting two other stranger people to help and do all the work as I stood back and shot arrows at him. And that's pretty much how I played Elden Ring for 40 hours.
Nice.
That's actually a pretty fun way to play it, though.
Oh, good
It
times.
is, especially because Elden Ring's one of the first times where like a bow and arrow is actually worth something.
Oh, good. I was afraid that it wasn't. I was like, am I actually playing the game wrong by doing this?
Oh no, bow and arrow in Elden Ring is perfect. Like you can play an archer in that. You can't play an archer in the other Dark Souls game. Well, in 3 you can, but you have to like. It takes a while for you to actually get a bow worth using.
Mm.
Yeah.
Also insanely difficult to do. That was mine.
I have a game that I don't know if anyone's gonna have ever heard of it. A game that really stuck with me at the end when I was like, wow, what a game that was. It was a 2064 read-only memories.
I've heard of that.
Ooh, good. It came out in 2015 or so. So it's been a long time since I played it, but it's in the style of a old school adventure game with like the pixel graphics, and it's kind of like the point and click stuff.
What are you playing? The Oregon Trail?
Yeah, it's like the Oregon Trail. It's exactly like
now
that.
That's an adventure.
That is an adventure.
Everyone died of malaria.
It takes place in 2064 in what is it? Neo San Francisco. Neo San Francisco, and I think I got this game as part of a Humble bundle, and I was like, this looks cool. Let me try it out, and I just got completely hooked on the world and the story and all the characters. Everything was like way better developed than I ever thought it would be for just being a game that looks like an 80s point and click adventure game. Like you start off as just a journalist in your apartment. This little robot guy comes up and he's like, help me, I'm a sentient robot, they're after me. And then you go on a mystery to figure out. It's like it turns into a big citywide thing, and there's just so many plot twists that kind of like play on your expectations of a point and click adventure, where like at one point there's this big scary thing chasing you, and it's not a point and click adventure where you have to take your time. You actually have to hurry and make decisions to not die, and it's like, I didn't even know I could die up to this point. And it's got your choices change how things happen. There's multiple different endings. It's so much more than I ever thought it would have been just by looking at it on Steam. And they've got a sequel that was scheduled to come out in 2020 and it still says coming soon on Steam.
Oh man, that's the worst.
So I don't know where that's at, but there's a demo which I just found out, so I'm gonna do that. But yeah, that's a old school adventure, but with new school storytelling, I guess. Love it.
Here's my next one is one that we probably I don't think either of you guys ever would have imagined we'd hear in a Best Adventures game, or Best Adventures episode. But Kirby Planet Robobot was pretty fucking sick.
Is that the one for 3DS?
Yes, sir.
You recommended that to me a while back, and I played that. That game is a shit.
It's
every
so
day Aaron
fucking
recommends
sweet.
it. Every single day he wakes up and messages me, have you played Kirby Planet Robobot yet?
Well, what are you waiting for?
Do it, Tommy.
I don't have my 3DS anymore.
Emulate it.
Oh, emulate it.
I mean, you don't have to. I'm just joking. But
No. He has to.
Yep, that's true.
This is how we prove that he's real.
It starts off like just a regular Kirby game, and then you get a fucking mech suit, and then with this mech suit, you can you get like different sweet abilities, like a flamethrower and all sorts of other shit. And basically, there's this team that's trying to mechanize the planet that Kirby lives on and shit. So you're going through and you're blowing up their fucking their factories and all this shit. And all the while, there's just this bump and fucking soundtrack to it, and you got different suits or different mech suits that have different abilities and shit like that. And oh my god, I'm just gonna skip right to the end because it's really sweet. The final battle, you're in this like gigantic fucking mech suit, and it's like a little shmup for like a little bit, and then the ending cutscene is just like Kirby in his like Voltron-esque fucking Megazord-esque fucking mech suit. He's just beating the shit out of these other robots, and it's just look it up on YouTube. It's the coolest thing ever in any Kirby game, but it's a hell of a game to play. It's only like maybe 10 hours long, I think. It's not very long at all, but it's probably the best Kirby game for sure. It's awesome.
It sounds like something that shouldn't work, a Kirby game and a Kirby mech game.
Oh, but does it work?
They made it work.
It works so good.
For mine, it's gonna be Far Cry 5, boys. The
Ooh.
black sheep of the series, dude. I have a love-hate relationship with Far Cry series, mostly because I've only played 5 to completion, and that was my first Far Cry game, and it was incredible. I played like 3 and 4, but I never finished them. Um, but then I picked up 5. It was like one of those buy 2 get 1 free sales, and you're trying to scramble to find what that last free game's going to be. And then turns out I played 5 first, and it was everything to me. I beat the living shit out of that game, did all the side quests. So Far Cry 5 is the one where, for the first time, you are not in the goddamn jungle. You're actually on the streets in the South, and you're fighting against a cult who's trying to cause a nuclear fallout. And it is so goddamn good. Joseph Seed is like peak James Bond-esque villain. Like, this guy is terrifying, and there's so many like points in the game where, like, if you do a certain thing, or if you when you kill another part of his family, there's like a cutscene that'll happen where it's just him facing the screen, and the whole backlit behind, or backdrop behind him, is all just blackness and shadows, and he's just talking to you, but staring right into the player's soul as he's delivering these ominous cult-like things to you. And I remember at one point too, I was a little uncomfortable because there's one of the scenes where he just stops talking. He's like threatening you. He's like, "No, it'll be worse," and he just stares at the screen for like a good like 30-40 seconds. And I thought the game froze, but I could see everything in the background, like the shadows like moving. I'm like, "Oh no, he's just looking at me." Oh, all right, we're gonna go south then. We're going south of the map. We're not going towards him yet. He's angry. But Far Cry 5, though, that when that game ended, I could not have asked for a better experience with it. And then they brought out the New Dawn, which is the anyone care if I spoil the ending of Far Cry 5?
Spoil it.
All right, cool, perfect. The ending of Far Cry 5, no matter what you do, it doesn't matter. The nuke goes off anyway.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ooh.
There's no way to prevent it. Even you can make all the right decisions, walk through all that. Does not matter. There's multiple endings, but no matter what, the fallout still happens. Your ending can just change on where you end up at the fallout.
Oh.
Me, I was abducted by Joseph Seed, who held me back in the bunker while the nuke went off. New Dawn takes place after that in a post-apocalyptic world.
Ooh.
Which is an interesting play.
Yeah.
But in the same vein, I like how 5 just ends like that, where it's like there is no happy ending here. Like, you didn't bring them to justice. You didn't save the day. You saved everyone that you could, so that way they can die in the fallout.
Oh man,
that's
that is
rough.
cool.
Dude, it's an incredible game. Like I said, I did play 4. I'm actually currently playing through 3 now, and like, I don't know what it is, but to me 5 is just perfection. I tried to play 6 because 4 and 3, when I went back to play them, I was like, I don't want to fucking drive around in the jungle.
Yeah,
like I don't want to.
Yeah,
this isn't the carnage that I was raising in 5. 5, it was on site with everyone. It didn't matter. You could just be driving by. I don't care. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna blow your truck up. I'm gonna throw your body into the river. And all. Like, I was a menace to society. I used to create guerrilla warfare tactics to kill people. I spent way too much time in this game doing absolutely nothing but just mass extinction. I was more dangerous than the Fallout was.
You were the Fallout.
Yeah, pretty much. But I tried to play 4. I'm playing through 3 now, and everyone says it's the best Fallout game, or best Far Cry game. I have a problem with going back in time, and it's weird from a retro game collector. But going back in time to some games, I can't do because the controls just feel so.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Off to me. So 3, I'm having a hard time with. 4, it's whatever. And then I tried to play 6, and I was like, we're back in the fucking jungle again? Come on, guys.
I don't want to be in the jungle.
Yeah, I want to be in Far Cry 5 down south with Cheeseburger, the giant fucking bear.
Far Cry 6 starts and it just plays
Mountain Lion.
It plays Welcome to the Jungle, and you're like, no.
Oh man, but yeah, Far Cry 5, an incredible adventure. If anyone's looking to play a Far Cry game, you only heard
That's the one to
negative
pick.
things. That is the one to pick. Man, fuck Far Cry 3. Don't play that. Play 5.
Yeah,
Play 5.
yeah,
End a cult. Die in a Fallout.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's what your father would want for you.
that's true.
Speaking of Fallout, should we do an ad break?
Yeah, I've got 2 picks left. We can do an ad break.
Okay,
Sir.
we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you today by our superstar patrons, a novel console, Jared and Jameson. Your generosity clearly knows no limits, and we can't thank you enough. Tommy and I will pray to your names every morning, noon, and night. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, superstars. Are you a coffee addict looking for your next big caffeine fix? Or are you just tired of all the normal boring coffee options out there now? Well, you need to check out Bones Coffee. Bones Coffee has lots of different varieties of coffee flavors. They've got things like red velvet, cookies and cream, s'mores. They've got one that's called Jamaican Me Crazy that's really good. It's like caramel vanilla rum kind of thing. But they also have just your usual, salted caramel and French vanilla and all that stuff. They even have decaf and what's called high voltage, which is just extra strength. And they've also got espresso. They've got all sorts of cool stuff. Plus, if you use coupon code SuperPod Saga at checkout, you'll get 20% off of your order. And again, that's SuperPod Saga at checkout to get 20% off. You can also follow the link in our episode description. And yeah, why not? Use that one-time coupon code. Like I said, 20% off. It's great. Just head over to bonescoffee.com. Get yourself some coffee, some cool gear like mugs or French press kits, stuff like that. Check it out. Okay, bye. It's really important to stay hydrated. They say to drink 8 to 10 cups of water per day to stay properly hydrated, but sometimes that can be difficult to do and completely inconvenient, and most of us don't feel like carrying a gallon of water with us at all times. That's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the category-winning hydration brand fueling your well-being, and their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing in your daily routine. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. Use it first thing in the morning, before a workout, when you feel run down, after a long night out, or on long flights. Man, in Iowa, the summers can be brutal. 90 degrees and tons of humidity, and that just saps the energy and water right out of your system within just a few minutes. Luckily, Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. It's very important to replace those electrolytes, and I just love how quick and easy it is to use Liquid IV. You just get 1 packet and a bottle of water, and you just pour that packet into the bottle of water, shake the heck out of it, and bam, you are good to go. Since using Liquid IV, I've felt way more alert, active, and just plain better versus drinking water alone. My favorite flavors to go to are the Yuzu Pineapple Energy Multiplier and the Tropical Punch Hydration Multiplier. I can't get enough of those ones. And what makes them even better is, like I mentioned earlier, they're packed with 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. And 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. And they're non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy, which is just great. So you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code SuperPodSaga at checkout. That's 20% off anything when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code SuperPodSaga, SuperPodSaga at liquidiv.com. You have a great one, superstars. Sunday. You've had all the monster trucks, you've had all the motocross, you've had all the dirt bikes, you've had everything. But I bet you've never seen otter racing. We've got otters. They're brown and furry, and they're swimming on their backs. They're cracking clams open on their bellies with a rock. They're swimming on their backs. They're brown and they're furry. Otters, Tommy.
Oh my gosh, otters! You can't get enough otters. They do ramps. Go through flaming rings.
They're fuck. Oh, I didn't think the rest of this through. Help us out, RedFox.
RedFox, what else do the otters do?
Tune in this Saturday night for the otter swimming extravaganza. Watch them hold hands as they dive precariously through flaming hoops underwater.
And there's like,
water.
and there's huge pyrotechnics going off the entire time. Like, bam! It's like window shattering, fucking
Explosions,
house
otters,
shaking.
spears, monster trucks. This Saturday night.
And the otters are actually just swimming really slowly.
The stands are filled with people that are just drinking their fucking brains out and like fighting and shit. Like, my boy Blue is gonna own this whole fucking town one day. And they're like throwing each other off the stands. Like, an otter finally cracks open a clam or an oyster or whatever, and everybody's losing their minds. They're like, oh my god!
You're paying for your whole seat, but you're only gonna need the edge.
That's good, holy shit. Sunday.
I want an advertiser to actually do that reading and be like, holy shit, that's actually a really good line. I gotta see these otters.
Buy two
Check it in.
tickets, get one tree. That's right, you get a free oak tree with every purchase.
Yeah.
All
Otters.
4 locos are buy 2 get 16 free. Sunday.
Otters. Are we back?
We're back.
Oh, hey, we're back. Hey,
Hey,
everyone.
superstars!
Welcome.
Didn't see you there.
Ooh, you snuck in on
Sorry,
us there.
all them otters around me.
All the otters everywhere.
It's trying to dry off.
Oh boy.
Had to put them back in their boxes. We're ready to go.
In their otter boxes.
Ooh, that's
God
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Gosh, why didn't we put that in the ad? Dang
Well-
it. We could have had an actual ad. I'm gonna talk about a video game if everyone's okay with that.
Okay.
A game that took me on an adventure that I loved was Halo Infinite, everyone.
Oh shit.
Not Halo
Holy shit.
2, not Halo 3, because I never played those growing up. The first Halo that I played on release was Halo Infinite. And I played Halo in the past. I played like the multiplayer with friends, or I went through the campaigns with a friend, but Halo Infinite really it hit everything that I wanted, which I know is crazy, but like for
How dare
whatever
you enjoy that game?
for whatever yeah, exactly. For whatever reason, everything clicked with me. I just loved exploring the map and setting up forward camps or base camps to get more soldiers and more vehicles and more weapons, and it was so cool to like feel like you were actually advancing a what's it called, a battle line, a forward line. I don't know war terms, but like you start on one side and you have to get these camps set up, and then it feels like you're actually taking over this area for the good guys and getting rid of the bad guys. And the story, you can take or leave it, because I don't remember a lot of it, because again, I didn't play much of the
Nice.
last ones, so all this stuff was happening. I was like, whoa, this seems important. but just exploring the world and doing all these things with all the weapons and the vehicles and just going and doing Master Chief stuff was an absolute fun time. I adored that adventure.
That's cool. I haven't played that one yet.
Yeah,
I
a
haven't.
Luigi
I
guy
haven't
myself.
booted it yet.
It is cool. It works better than it should.
Speaking of cool, let's talk about Life is Strange. I was trying to
I
do
had
that in
that
the
on
Sunday
my
boy.
list.
Ooh, yeah, Life is Strange was a hell of it. I've never played the sequel, but yeah, the first one really took me by surprise because I was
Yeah.
huge into the Telltale games, and I was like, oh,
Yep.
this is kind of like it.
Yep.
But yeah, you play as Max. What's the name of the of her friend with the blue hair again? I forget. It's not Ashley. I know it's not
Max
Ashley.
and Wikipedia help. Chloe.
Sam. Oh, Chloe.
Chloe.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, what is it? Max goes back to her
Max and Chloe.
hometown. Yeah, she goes back to her hometown. She meets Chloe, who was like a childhood friend, but they kind of broke off after a while. And
Mhm.
shit, like the stuff that happens to them, like holy fuck, like there's
Oh
that
my gosh.
insane teacher, and there's all that other shit, and
Spoilers.
And,
I want to talk about spoilers because
do it.
we can't. There's time travel.
Yeah, big spoilers, time travel. Yeah, you can rewind time and shit, and all those different choice. Like, I guess no, this isn't a spoiler at all. No, when that girl like throws herself off the top of the campus
Oh
or
my
whatever,
gosh. Yeah.
like
And you try.
you have a
Oh,
you can try to save her, but
you can try and rewind it. And
then
I forgot about that.
It's such a good game, dude. Like, I wish that. I mean, I guess now you can buy like every episode all together, but like I was not a big fan of the whole like, hey, here's one episode, ha, see ya in
We'll see
like,
you in 3 months.
yeah, see you in
I
3
love
months in
that.
episode 2, motherfucker.
I love that. I loved when it was like that because I played it with my girlfriend at the time, and so when it would come out, I'd be like, babe, we got new Life is Strange. We got new Life is Strange to play. Come
It's
to
like a
the
TV
TV.
show.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that is pretty cool. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, dude. At the end, I guess here's a spoiler. Yeah, when that fucking tornado or like hurricane or whatever is coming toward their town, and dude, and you basically have to choose. Like, dude,
Yep.
is Chloe worth an entire town? Because like the storm was the result of her changing time because she was meant to die or something.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, dude, should I like this is my best friend? Should I fuck up this town or
Yes.
My favorite is that the community refers to that choice as picking the bay or picking your bay. It's the bay or bay
ooh,
choice.
that's cool.
I know, it's so clever.
Um, yeah, good game, great game.
I love that game. I love Life is
I
Strange.
love it
I
too.
wish that my current wife would play it, but she doesn't want to.
Oh yeah, because she wants to open all the lockers or something.
Yeah, she was like, "Why can't I go through this door?" And I'm like, you're supposed to go to the courtyard. You can't go there." And she's like, "But I want to go through the door."
Why can't I go to the classrooms? Why can't I go to school? This isn't Persona.
Why can't I try to romance the damn teacher?
Yeah, exactly.
Persona 5, man, that's all you had to do. Romance the teacher. All right, game's over for me. My pick is actually similar to Aaron's because mine is Until Dawn.
Oh yeah, that's a
That
good
Ooh.
pick.
game is phenomenal. My God, I played through it this year for the first time. It's one of those games I've always wanted to play, but like I always wanted to wait until I had the perfect weekend to just play through it straight through. This game changed my life and drew me into a lifelong or like year-long addiction into the games from the Dark Pictures anthologies.
Yep,
I'm like 4 or 5 games deep into the series, 4 games deep into the series right now. None of them can touch what Until Dawn did for me. That
absolutely.
game puts you on the edge of your fucking seat like you were over at the otter racings. Okay. I made it through the entire game with two people dying because I thought that I couldn't save them. Turns out the one I could have, I just chose to go right instead of left, and that's all I needed for this person to be fucking murdered.
Jesus.
But my one character, this game's old. I'm spoiling it. Hayden Panettiere plays a character in the game who is the most likable character. Everyone in there is like has a weird moral compass, and it's the characters are written like that because you're supposed to hate people but understand their reasoning for it, and that's what makes the game so engaging.
Mhm.
So Hayden Panettiere's character, though, I sacrificed everyone to keep her alive. Like I was
Natural.
knowingly throwing people into harm's way. I think at one point I literally had her trip someone so I could get away faster. And at the fucking end of the game, it is the very last decision you make in the fucking game. The Wendigo is like searching them into in the mansion, and you have 30 seconds left until dawn. And it like immediately like jerks over and catches your scent, and you have to hold the controller still.
Yep.
I was so on the edge of my seat because I was doing a bunch of button presses to like evade it. So I was getting ready for more because I didn't think that this was the end of the game because you get so caught up in surviving that you forget that there's a countdown until dawn that's telling you how much longer is in the game. I didn't even notice that. And the Wendigo jumped at me. I was holding a controller to hit a button prompt to fucking evade it. Turns out, no, it was jumping by me, and you had to keep the controller still because it can't see you unless you move the controller, and then it'll pick up on your scent.
Oh,
So I got her killed in the very last part
That's
of the
rough.
game.
fuck.
Literally 20 seconds before credits, I got her killed.
Ugh.
She died. Everyone else ran out the estate and survived the game.
Mm.
I had more of a moral compass of keeping her alive than I did in any Fallout game.
That's
soon
cool as
as
fuck.
soon as that happened, like the little prompt showed up on top of my screen, RedFox did not like that.
That needs to be. Man,
Heartbreaking.
like I said, I don't play horror games, but I watch horror people play those games, and like I've watched Until Dawn and then all the other games from them, and it's just so crazy to me that they haven't been able to strike gold like they did with Until Dawn. Because
Nah.
I agree totally, just from watching it, that Until Dawn is just like so it's so well done, and the characters and the story and everything, and then everything else since then just hasn't reached that level.
Yeah, I think not to get into a whole tangent about it, but I think the closest that they got me playing through all these games is the Quarry,
Yep.
which is the spiritual sequel to the game, same
Yeah.
studio, and then they turned into the Dark Picture anthologies, and those games have honestly been getting increasingly worse.
Yep.
Um,
It's weird.
like yeah, like everyone told me play Man of Medan, it's great, and I played it, and I was like, we were maybe 6 hours into 5 or 6 hours into the game before anything really started happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little Hope, I just beat, and they're trying to do a thing with the Dark Pictures anthologies where there's a huge like M Night Shyamalama type
Yep.
twist.
Yep. Every time.
Shamalama.
And Little
It's not
Hope,
good.
dude, every theory I had for that game was better. I had aliens
It's
as an idea.
I
Was
just
better than what the actual response was.
I just don't know how creators can do that, to pick that ending. Like, you know what that type of ending is going to, the reaction to it is going to be.
What I think it is I think that creators, when they make these kinds of games, try too hard to do the reverse red herring, where it's like the answer is simple,
Hmm.
but let's make it seem like it's that, but then it's not, but it really is,
Yep.
except it isn't.
Yeah.
Like they overcomplicate it, where it's like I would have rather the simple explanation. Like, spoiler for Little Hope here, it's not that great of a game, so I don't
Yeah.
mind
Yeah.
spoiling it, but the ending is that it was all in his head.
Yep.
And he was just reliving it all after he escaped the town.
Yep.
And all, and everything was in his
Nothing
head.
happened.
There is
Nothing was real.
nothing in that game that would make you think
Nope.
that it was that. I thought aliens in a
Aliens
witch
would have been
trial
better.
game. Yeah. And like I went back and I checked the other endings and all, and I was like, damn, there ain't a UFO in any of these bitches.
I will say, Man of Medan in specific or particular, I don't know about the other ones, but Man of Medan has a really, really cool multiplayer aspect where if
The other
you're
ones do too.
if you're playing with another person but they're not with you, like it's over online or whatever, but you can still communicate, what you see and what they say are different, because in Man of Medan there's like a gas around that causes people to see things, so you have to actually like communicate with the other person to decide what's real and what's not, because it'll be like there's a monster in front of you, do you want to stab it, and the other person is like, what are you talking about, that's me, don't stab me. And that's
Yeah,
That's cool as hell.
that's
The
really
other ones
cool.
are like that too, where they have the online play. But like we played Little Hope with a group of people, and we were all just like everyone controlled two characters,
Hmm.
and yeah, no, it. They're fun experiences, but the problem is like if they don't get the story right, the
Yeah,
experience is for nothing.
and they really don't get the stories right.
No, they do not. They're trying to telltale this. You'll
It's
never
so
get.
weird.
You'll never hit the emotional hype of having to choose between killing Ducky and not killing Ducky. Oh,
Ducky, oh man.
R.I.P.
Rip
to the
Ducky.
real one.
Yep.
Okay, Aaron, you said you have one more.
Yeah, I have one more.
Perfect. I will read one more as well,
And I have one final.
I'm gonna end it on the lamest note ever, and I'm gonna talk about Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
I'm stuck in that game right now.
Because it's such a good Mario adventure, because it doesn't take place in the Mushroom Kingdom, it takes place in the Bean Kingdom. And
Ooh.
so everything's new. It's new enemies, new world to explore. Everything is
Luigi
Bean.
has lightning.
Luigi has lightning, and it's
Yeah.
just it goes from place to place to place to place, and it's in this Bean Kingdom. So that, like, it's not just here's the ice level, here's the grass level. Although the areas are different, but it's like this is the city in Bean Kingdom where everyone lives. This is the university. There's an airport even. It's just got all this stuff that would actually be in the Bean Kingdom. And as you go around and explore and build up your stash stat, it's just
Your
such a
stash.
fun time.
Sweet, sweet stash.
You can there's a coffee mini game where you
Yep,
can bring
that's my
beans to make
favorite.
coffee.
Mhm.
It's just so well fleshed out, way more fleshed out than it should be. And for me, that was like the peak of the Mario RPG formula. I would say
It
even more
is
than Paper Mario.
it is
Oh,
super cool because yeah, just like you said, like each place you go to, like even the desert or like the volcano area, like yeah, they're all parts of the kingdom, and like you go there for it's not just like haha, you beat this level, now you're going to
Yeah,
the ice level. It's like, hey, you're going to the whatever the fuck the desert was called, the Chocola Desert or some shit like
yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
yeah.
And just seeing the bean versions of everything and so the mushroom versions of
Yeah.
everything. They were so creative, so creative. We might never get another Mario and Luigi game again.
No, we're
No, but we
carrying
are
on.
getting the Super Mario
RPG.
RPG,
Yeah, I'm excited
which
to give
that
that a
looks
shot.
incredible.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, my boy Mallow.
Mallow.
my my last one. Everybody knows it, everybody loves it. Ease 8.
Everyone who's listening is screaming right now. They've been waiting. They've been waiting all podcast.
Yeah, Ease 8. The Ease series is a pretty fucking long one. I'm pretty sure it started back in like the 80s or yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the 80s, but um the whole series is essentially just one long chronicle of the main character Adol and his friend Dogi. It's like one long chronicle, like all their different adventures. And I could not tell you for the life of me what the chronological order is of the games or like which ones are canon and which aren't, but because there's some that they've been like, oh, that's not canon to the story or something stupid. But so Ease 8 starts off Adol and Dogi. You know them, you love them. They're on a cruise ship.
Woo!
The cruise ship gets caught in a storm and sinks. Everybody wakes up. Well, you start off with just Adol, of course, because he's the main character you're playing as, and you wake up on this island and you're like, holy shit, where the fuck am I, dog? And then you basically just go around, you find more survivors, and then they start their own little village on the island, and it's basically Adol and a few others that are that can fight and everything like that. They'll you just go around the island, finding more survivors and building up your little village because like you don't start off with much in the village, but like um, you'll find one survivor who's a doctor, one survivor that's a blacksmith. So all these people were on the boat, I guess, but yeah, you'll build up your village, unlock more and more shit, and yeah, you'll find more party members as you go along too. Like you'll find this little girl who's been trapped on the island for like fucking 12 years or something, um, and what's really cool is that the island has that like it's kind of an open world, but since it was like it started off on the Vita, like all the different areas are cut off by loading screens, kind of.
Hmm.
But yeah, like when you say if you go up to like the highest mountain in the island, you can look down and you can see like all the other places you've been. Like you can see all the smoke from the
Sick.
campfire and like the giant tree from your castaway village. You can see like the
You can see
beach.
Wilson.
Yeah, well said. It's cool. It's rad as fuck. Yeah, you can see like there's lots of really memorable landmarks that you can see from like pretty much anywhere you are of like a higher elevation on the island, and that's really cool. Um and yeah, there's like a big wacky story to it too. I guess spoilers for anybody that hasn't played Ease 8, but um what is it? The island is basically no, it's not stuck in time. No, it's inhabited by these what are called primordials, but they're just dinosaurs. And there was this race of people. I forget how long ago it was, but they were basically wiped out by this group of entities called the evolutionists or some shit like that. And like
Starting to
every
sound like Evangelion.
yeah, it's some wild shit. What is it? So every certain number of years, I forget, the evolutionists will they'll pull what's called a Lacrimosa, where they basically just wipe out the dominant species and let evolution cook up a new dominant species for whatever reason I forget.
And that's the
Um,
story of how Red Fox was born. My villain origin story right there.
his whole family was wiped out, and then by the power of otters, Red Fox rose up to become the dominant alpha male. Dominant otter. There we go.
The Alpha Otter.
um, but yeah. So the while you're on the island, Adol keeps having these like recurring dreams of this lady named Donna, and like you'll play through like everyday bullshit with her. Like you'll do these little tasks or go these little ceremonies, and you'll start to think like, this looks a lot like the island we're on now. Like where the fuck are these people on here now? Like are they still here? But you come to find out that her people ended up being wiped out by the evolutionists, except for Donna, because like when they do wipe out a species, they'll pick one person from that species to represent them as an evolutionist. Donna was like, "Hell no, dog, that's lame as shit," and she ended up going into like a cryogenic state in the giant flower or something. I forget. Um, Basically just to warn the next species and try to like stop the evolutionists or the Lacrimosa or whatever. So you, as Adol and company, you find Donna and then you go fight the evolutionists and like the final boss of the game, I forget. It's like some embodiment of evolution or something stupid, but you fight that. Donna becomes an evolution god or something. Um, the story is just nuts and fucking wild. I forget a lot of the story, but like the whole game as a whole, like just cruising around the island and like finding all these cool landmarks and learning about like more lore of like the overall story of the Ys series and shit. It's so good. It's without a doubt probably one of the best games in the Ys series, I'd say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Voice.
For my final one, I was gonna pull something from the Resident Evil series because I absolutely love Resident Evil. 4 is perfect, but
yeah,
I got to break away from that. So it's the Dead Rising series.
Ooh,
my God, what a game! And I'm just gonna lump in 1, 2, and 3 together. 4, as far as I'm concerned, never happened. But the Dead Rising series, phenomenal adventure. Going through and realizing that, like, and I realized this as I got older and played through them every year now, that you can unintentionally make the game incredibly difficult for yourself, depending on where you go to first would activate certain psychopaths that you're not ready for. But then if you leave the area, they're still there. Like, I've had runs before where I've completely forgotten about like the chainsaw clown, and I'm trying to run through with 4 or 5 survivors that I picked up, and he's still in this one section of the mall that I have to get through. Especially like one of my biggest things with that game, and to this day they still scare the shit out of me, and I play this game at least like once every other year, at least the first one. The psychopaths in this game, I remember being younger and playing on the 360, and when the psychopaths first show up, just they scare the shit out of me. And there's nothing wild about their design. They have green plague doctor masks on and yellow raincoats, but they like make these weird noises, and like the way that they run at you and like just walk through the zombies at you. It's so fucking tense and scares the shit out of me every time. And the one time I actually got captured by them, which apparently you could just choose to let that happen. The first time that they kill you, they won't kill you. They'll actually capture you. And then you end up with no items in like a cult room. And there's like 25 of them all right there in the next room next to you, and you have to kill them to get out. Which is bad for them to capture you too, because you lose like 4 hours, because you only have 24 hours to escape them all. But the series in itself, 2, I thought did an excellent job with the Vegas Strip, and you know, the same concept where you'll run into different psychos, and if you don't beat them, they'll just be there, or you could fuck around and do something wrong and get people killed during the events. So it's like weird unseen branching storylines that could unfold depending on how you handle the situations. And this is all about a game where you can use a park bench to beat the shit out of zombies.
Yeah.
So much detail and layers to a game where I put on a SuperPod head, and then there's a serious cutscene going on, and it's like, you can't kill me and my entire family. And then here's Frank with a SuperPod head. Yes, I can. Take me seriously. There's nothing funny about this.
Seriously.
But yeah, it's phenomenal series for adventuring.
Yeah.
There was some other psychos that were there that were like, maybe this was 2, I forget, but I remember there being this like morbidly obese dude at this like buffet or something.
Yeah. There was the chef at the restaurant in 2. And then there's another one. I forget which one it is. There's like the big fat dude who, like, it's hard as shit to fight him because he's constantly rehealing.
Yep, because he gobbles down food.
Yeah, and then you fight the BDSM dude who's got like a chainsaw dick. But yeah, dude, a lot of those psychos were so fucking cool. And then 4 just kind of like took the psychos out like you just kind of ran into random named enemies and they were psychos. 3 did that too, to a degree. 3 was cool, but actually the game itself right now is physically broken. Like the physics of the game are broken. When I did a run through last year of the series, we tried to play 3 co-op, and you could like just punch a zombie and they'd go flying across the fucking room, like as if they got thrown off a cliff in Skyrim. And like it was unplayable. We couldn't do another playthrough of it, and it's a shame too because 3 is actually a really good game, but it's impossible to play again unless you're playing it on like a PC, and you can fuck with sliders and all.
Yeah, fuck sliders.
Yeah. I do have a question for you lads though before this episode wraps.
Yeah, what's up?
So, is there a game that at some point during the adventure you realize this is not worth it? This is not worth playing through, not worth investing the 40 to 60 hour fucking playtime for this game?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
You go first, Aaron.
Okay, well mine, I don't think my pick was 40 hours, but I'm going to say Eastward. A lot of people liked that game, but that game, it looks cool. Like the graphics are great. Everything is just so detailed. It's got a great fucking cooking mini game. It's got a fucking like Dragon Quest
everything
RPG.
you need.
Yeah. A little Dragon Quest like RPG like thing, mini game inside of it as well too. Like the music is great, the characters are great, but the story fucking led nowhere. Like it was building up all of these cool little plot points and like all these different little mini storylines that I thought were going to build up into something awesome, but they just fucking didn't. Like there's like a million answer questions I have about the game, because like there's one point it's like, why how did the princess die? They never told us that. Like what the fuck is Solomon's deal? Why does he have so many clones? Like what's fucking all of this shit? Eastward was, it was, I guess it was cool to experience it, and like everything, almost everything about it was cool except for the story. I fucking hate the story so much.
For me, it was Elden Ring, actually.
Oh my god!
I talked about how
Yes.
I explored a lot of the main starting area and struggled and struggled and struggled, and eventually got to the castle, and I had to have strangers hop into my game to help me through the bosses and stuff. And then after I had done that, I decided to go south, and I was like, oh, there's a peninsula here. That's fun. And I actually was like over leveled for that area, and I had fun in that area. I explored all of that peninsula. I did the story with another castle there and a lady, and I completed that storyline, and I was like, I'm having fun playing Elden Ring. Yay. But then after I finished everything there and went back to the main landmass and started traveling, I was like, uh-oh, everything's difficult again. And I was like, I'm not having fun with difficulty. And so I just kind of stopped playing it.
For me, I was torn on the two because one, I'm still actively playing, and there's a part of me that I know I have to finish it because I was challenged to play it. It's Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, okay.
So I am in love with the characters, the story, the dynamics. Like I even don't mind the combat, but I don't know what it is with this game where I find myself fucking dozing off playing it.
Yeah.
Like I find myself so just wanting to get, it's like I'm waiting for something to happen, but the characters and the story have me so like invested in it. But at the same time, I don't have the motivation. Like it's not a game where I'm coming home from work. I'm like, all right, time to clock some fucking hours into this. I'm like,
fucking unbuckling your pants and shit.
Yeah, like dude, like let me grab a 6-pack and like really dive into this game. No, like I just can't do it. But I'm enjoying the game still. But I want to stop playing it. And then when I looked up online, I was like, "Fuck, do you mean this game's 28 hours?" oh, it's 32 without. It's 32 if you do side quests. All right, we're gonna cut that out. 28 still sounds like a lot. I'm 9 hours into the game, and to this point in the game, I'm still waiting for like something to happen, like something where it's like it's got me invested. Because at this point, I'm fishing a lot.
Oh
I
yeah,
live to fish in that game. Any game that has fishing in it, it's a 5-star banger for me.
the cooking is
Um,
good too.
the
I love the
cooking,
It's
cooking.
cooking.
yes.
All the food looks great.
Oh yeah. And like just the bromance between all of them, like Gladius, it's like I have a parasocial relationship with Gladius because I'm like, he's everything to me, and if anything happens to him, like I'll be beside myself. So that game I want to quit. Like it feels like it's not worth it to keep going, but I know it'll pay off in the
Yes.
end. So I'm pushing through. I'm going to play some of it tonight. So
I
here's hoping. But the game did quit, absolutely quit. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. It's Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh my gosh,
Ooh.
dude! I was with you describing the Final Fantasy stuff. That's word for word how I was feeling about Survivor right now.
Oh my
You
god,
talk
thank
about
God.
you talk about Fallen Order first though.
So to be quick about it, Fallen Order, I played originally on the Series X.
Mhm.
I made it like a little bit into Dathomir, I think it was. I went there early to try to get the double
Oh,
sided saber. Got the saber, got out that bitch real quick. But then, like as I'm playing it, I was just like, it just didn't hold my focus. And then when I got my PS5, I bought it on sale for like $5 for the PS5 version. Survivor was coming out the following month, so I was like, oh, cool. Like I was invested into the game until about 3 planets in, and then I was like, I genuinely don't want to play this anymore. I haven't picked it up in almost a month now, and I only have maybe about 4 chapters left in the game. According to the walkthrough I looked up, because at one point I was like, "What's the quickest way to get done this?" It's There's just so much shit that like I don't understand. People were like, "Oh yeah, it's an incredible, groundbreaking game." It's trying to be Dark Souls, but it's taking the worst parts. Like it's doing it terribly where it's like I'll spend 40 minutes running around in an area trying to figure out what the fuck I'm supposed to do just to find out that there's a vine hanging in the center of the thing that I need to climb up. And the vine's not highlighted. There's no way to even see this vine
yep.
amongst all the other shit in the area.
Fuck.
And like the fact that the fast travel points are so, or not fast travel points, the save spots are
Yeah,
so
they're not well
fucking,
placed.
dude, they're not well placed. The loading screens are so fucking long. I'm playing on a PS5, on a PS5 version, and it
Mhm.
still takes forever to fucking load. I don't think the combat for it is all that fucking crisp and clean like people say. Like if I'm fighting, it's fun to fight small people.
Yep.
But if I'm fighting anything giant size, I honestly I don't even feel like, oh, he's a big dude just tanking my hits. No, I just feel like I can't get the feel of like this would be like fighting with a lightsaber. It's like, no, I'm
The
just slashing at this thing.
the very worst thing about the combat is you click the right stick to focus on someone, and
Mm-hmm.
then if you're fighting multiple enemies, if you try and move the camera with the right stick, it doesn't. That just changes who you're targeting. Moving the right
Yes.
stick changes who you're targeting. You have no control over the camera when you're focused on combat.
Yeah, and it's just like I said, I got like maybe 4 or 5 chapters left. I'm sure if I sat down and put another 3 hours into the game, I could get to the end, but I don't even want to at this point.
Uh,
I'm like I'm gonna watch what happens at the end of the game, and then I'll pick up Survivor once all the patches and all are done, and I catch it on sale.
oh man,
But it's just at this point now, it's not worth finishing Fallen Order because it's so much just running around. Like you have
dude,
this
dude,
beautiful map, but you spend
dude.
all your fucking time trying to figure out how did I get back up onto that ledge.
I don't want to make this event fest about Star Wars because I liked Fallen Order. I overall the pros outweighed the cons for me overall. There were definitely some low lows, but there were some high highs too. But listen to
The
this for
stories are really
Survivor.
high.
Listen to this for Survivor. So I got to the starting planet, and the map shows like here's where you haven't explored yet. It gives you like bright yellow, like you can go through this door. I have to explore all of those because I can't just like continue on until I've seen everything. Like if there's a
Oh hell
door
yeah.
open, I gotta go open it. But
Yep.
you are not supposed to do that on that starting planet. Like I go through a place, go through fighting enemies, and I get to the end of the line, and it's like nothing there because I don't have an ability unlocked or I haven't progressed in the story to know what this place is. Like I went to some places that look nuts, but I can't do anything there. And it's like, why did you even let me go down this path? and there's like 6 or 7 of those. I spent like 7 hours just on the starting planet, and then I finally advanced the story. And it's like you said with the other game you were talking about, where you're just falling
Mhm.
asleep through it. There's so much dialogue that is just nothing. It's just, and I got to the ship and it's like, you can leave the planet now, and I'm like, cool. And before you walk in, it does a little pop-up that it's like, there are more conversations in the saloon. And I'm like, I was about to leave. I was about to leave. Now I have to go see what these people want. And I went back to the saloon and talked to them, and it's nothing. It's literally just like, here's some more dialogue. But it's not, it's just dialogue. It's not anything. It's just, there are people in the saloon who have something to say. And I was like, why did you need me to do this? It's just so much. It needs
Yeah,
focus.
and I'm with you on the whole thing about like needing to explore places, and that's my problem. That was one of my biggest problems with Fallen Orders because I'll go into a room. There's 2 doors. One door is clearly the way I have to go, but I need to know what's on the other door.
Yeah,
The problem is if I go through the other door, it's going to take me in a roundabout to the beginning of the fucking planet, and
yeah,
now I have to run all this shit again.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because once you go through some of these doors, you're in a fucking an ice slide that you can't get back on.
Yep,
No.
yep, yep. But I stopped playing Survivor to play Zelda, and I'm just picking it back up. So I got my fingers crossed that it ends up being good, but I'm still early on because I spent 7 hours on the starting planet exploring paths that took me nowhere.
Right.
Or even like, I found this guy who was like, he would literally tell a 3 to 4 minute long story, and then you get a fish afterwards. And I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this fish? And it wasn't, I found him in other places and got more fish, and then eventually it was like, I went back to the saloon and it's like, look, your fish are here. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, it shouldn't let you go to these places that you're not ready for yet.
Right, and especially without telling you that you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's stupid.
Because they totally have places that are blocked off, and it's like bright red, and it's like, you can't go here yet. Why not put those at the other places?
I was gonna say that too, yeah. But have you ever played Final Fantasy 15, Tommy?
No.
Or like heard about it or anything like
Oh
that?
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I've
yeah.
watched some on the YouTube.
I was
But
fuck. I just not remembered all this shit. But Final Fantasy 15, like I like that. Not to like rewind the conversation.
Rewind it.
Um, um, I like the overall. Yeah, I like the overall like concept of Final Fantasy 15. Like I like that it's more modern day. Like there's just
Yeah.
cars and like highways, and you stop at gas stations and get your car fucking repaired, new tires and shit. Grab a fucking pack of peanuts or something.
stand there
Um,
staring at the mechanic.
yeah, dude. Oh my god, I like everything about Final Fantasy 15, but the game is yeah, like Red Fox said, dude, it's a fucking slog. Like the world, it's cool that it's open and you can like just run anywhere and like do anything, but that's also like the worst part about it because there's like a million dumb fucking side quests that I mean, sure you get extra XP and stuff like that, but it's like it
But it's
you
also
know,
you're running. You're just
yeah.
running
Yeah,
for so long.
there's no like super sprint. You can't just like do a long distance teleport or anything like that. And fucking the you don't even get like the whole experience of the game because like to get the whole experience you have to watch this like these like 2 movies
Yep,
and you have to have like
Kingslave.
yep, you have to have the fucking DLC and then there's just like a bunch of other like story shit that you'll never get to see because they canceled extra DLC. So it's like what's the fucking point other than to just like play the game and say you've played the game? Like you're not going to get the whole story, you're not going to get like the full lore because like the story and everything is kind of interesting, but also I do like that they made the summons these fucking like massive like fucking titan sized motherfuckers. Like I like that.
Yeah.
The rest of the game, yeah, it's eh. I agree, it's eh.
Yes. That's it.
Yes, sir.
We we did it.
Adventure complete.
Adventure games. Adventure completed.
Adventure complete.
Let's all say it together. Wow,
The-
that was an adventure.
That was an adventure.
That was an adventure. And I
Well,
didn't think we was gonna make it.
We'll edit that to make it
I'm
sound better.
good. I'm getting too old for this shit.
It's too old. But if
I
you
was 2
if
days
you
away
think
from
of
retirement.
if the people think of other adventure games that they thought were good adventures or non-adventure games too, where can they tell us about it, Aaron?
they can hit us up on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. You can find all of our stuff at superpodsaga.com. Just let your ring up your AOL.com, let it connect, go through the beeps and boops, and then wait 15 minutes for the page to load, and you'll find all of our socials, episodes, and blog and everything.
Yeah, and our Discord too. We have a Discord.
Yeah.
Where if people want to listen to more of you, RedFox from Night of the Living podcast, where can they find you?
If you need a AOL free trial disc, hit me up on Twitter at Night of the LP. You can find us on there. Links to all of our various podcast platforms, twitch.tv/Night RedFox. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for having me on the episode, guys.
Yes, thank you for being here. Your picks were
solid. Questing.
Solid picks.
I try to come with the Viagra.
Aaron, are we doing what you can listen to next time, or is this one of our episodes that's like in a time bubble?
No, we'll do. Yeah, we could do what's coming next, because this one.
What are we going to talk about next time?
Next time we're going to talk about our childhood favorite games.
Oh, childhood favorite games. That's good.
Games from our childhood, of course, that we loved.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
Oh,
Look forward to that, listeners. Check out RedFox from the Night of the Living podcast on his stuff, and thank you for listening to our podcast. Thank you for listening to the SuperPod Saga. You're beautiful. I love you. Bye.
Bye, God.
My dear, bye.